Hey guys, so today we're going to see how we can scrape cryptocurrency data from Yahoo Finance. We're going to use beautiful soup in Python, of course, to scrape this. So all you got to do is go to finance.yahoo.com, whichever country is, and it resolves to that. And then you can actually just find the markets, yeah. Go to cryptocurrencies. And you can see that this is the table we need, right? We may not be able to scrape this data. We need the symbol, we need the explanation about the symbol, the price, the change, the total market capitalization, and all that. If we can get from here to here, I think pretty good to go. And if you, there's an advanced stuff which is charts and all that, we can still get that. But I'm going to quickly show you how to do this. Right? So the boilerplate code that we need for this is we're going to use Beautiful Soup as like I said. Please install Beautiful Soup. Pretty easy, and also requests will be a part of Python anyway. And so I'm going to just import them, and here I'm setting the user agent. This is always good practice when you're doing web scraping and web crawling, is to set user agent so that the website doesn't think you're a bot, which you are, and then block you, right? So I'm just going to set this and to pretend to be on a Macintosh and Mozilla Safari on a Macintosh, right? And I'm already set the URL to the Yahoo Finance cryptocurrencies URL. Okay. So now we're going to use the request um, tool to actually get the data. Beautiful Soup doesn't come into play till then. Okay. So the command what we're going to use is request dot get. Simple as this. Oops. What did I do there? That's it. There you're going to pass the URL, and then you're going to pass headers. Headers equals header. You can have more than one header. Um, and then all of this will be connected in some sort of an object response equals that. If you just print this, it will print um, the web page, the entire HTML now, right? But we don't need that. So what we need is we want to get that content and pass it to Beautiful Soup and be able to query that like a XML document. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to say soup equals Beautiful Soup and pass the content to that. The content is response. Response actually will not give you the content, so you'll have to further actually query it with that. And we're going to say, give me the XML. That means give me the XML part of this. Treat it like an XML document is what we're saying. So now soup will be basically an XML sort of a document from which we can start selecting content using basic CSS selectors or XPath, right? So in this case, let's see what it is that the document itself is made of. So what we need to do now is study the HTML. What does the HTML contain? What clues does it contain? So that we makes it easier and obvious for us to scrape it. What is the most intuitive way? So let's go here. I'm just going to right click and do the inspect. I'm on Chrome, always be in Chrome because of this beautiful inspect tool that they have. And you can see that all these are TD classes. When I move around, you can see the selector move around a little bit. So each of the table data contains um, obviously the data itself, and then already I'm seeing that the area label is very descriptive as to what the content inside of it is. If you look and see the name here, in this case the symbol here, area label is called symbol. So that probably is going to be the way to actually finding the data here. So before that, we want to make sure that we can pull out each row. Right? Each row has individual. We can just divide this document into rows that we want, right, first. So first things first is, let's see what the row entails. The TR as a class called table table row, simple table row, right? And then there's a whole lot of other gibberish over here which we don't need. So we can, this is good enough for us to sort of use a selector on. So let's just copy that weird sounding thing and pull it into our code a little bit here, and just leave it there for a second. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to assume, so we're going to use the soup.select, soup as a selector. The way we do is it soups.select, and this is the format. And here inside the bracket, you can do what you do in jQuery, which is to say that, for example, you can call an element within the ID if you have one. In this case, we have class name, so you can use the class name here to do it like that. So which is exactly what we're going to use, right? So you can basically do here whatever you do with jQuery, right? You can select the objects however you want. By tags, H1, H2 tags, anything like that, yeah, works, right? All those rules work. So we're going to use a simple class selector, which is simple table row. And then let's sort of go through this like a for each. So what will happen is the moment you do this, this gives an array. So to select gives you an array of items always. So what you do is then you can iterate through that. So I'm going to just do a for each on it, right? For item in, right? And there you go. So here, if I just say print of item, I should be able to get all the rows here. So let's just save it. I'm going to call this Yahoo crypto.py, okay? And then let's just see, stop here for a second and see if we got on the right track. Okay, so I'm going to call Python 3 Yahoo crypto.py. I think I named it how? Yahoo crypto. Oh, sorry, I think I named it wrong. Okay, Yahoo Crypto, I named it. So let's go with that for a second. Yahoo Crypto. Yahoo Crypto. Here we go. There's something. To print this, we'll use a separator of sorts. So let's just sort of, just to make a little bit more sense of it. Oops. We use a separator, so like so. For some reason, this whole thing went into, I don't know, it just sort of became smaller, didn't it? Anyway, so it just something weird is happening today. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, each row, you can see the tr class over here. Tr ends with tr. So each of these, and we have a separator there, we have been able to get it. You see how so simply you can get the data. Of course, there's a lot of HTML. Now let's see if we can get at least one piece of data from this, which makes sense, and remove all the HTML. Okay. So the most obvious one is a simple one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the selector inside of this, inside of the for each, and try and get to the symbol, okay, and get BTCINR. That's simple. Let's see if I can get to that. Right, the first row, first column, basically. So instead of printing the item, which we're gonna banish, so let's query the item itself instead of the document, right? So instead of the entire document, we're now limiting it to this row, and we are saying inside this row, get me, or another way of saying it, select all, right? Select actually always means select all, right? So that's one way of saying it to yourself, easier. So then inside of that, I don't want a class name because we have area label this time, not class name. So we're gonna use a square bracket to define an attribute. A dot is automatically class name. Okay, so you can actually declare here class, but in this case we don't need that. We need the attribute area because class itself is an attribute. Label. Okay, area label equals And if you go back here, it was simply called symbol. Okay, so I'm just going to go and say symbol. That's what it is called. All right, and then this one, remember, will return an array, right? So if it is an array, but there's only one symbol in the entire array in this particular row, right? So I'm going to select then that so that I can print it, even though there's only one item in the array, but I still need to select the item. And then I'm going to call, I don't want the HTML, so I'm going to call it get text. And then just print this. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens now. There you go. Like we said, we've been able to print just the symbols. Okay, all the symbols. Now, this technique is working. There's no need to stop here. Let's just see if we can, what else we can get and what are the challenges. So I'm just going to keep this, copy paste this, and see if we can get something. Okay, so already you can see the name is something that I can get, which is also called array label. That's the thing. So I'm calling it name get text. All right, let's see what else we can get. So let's just sort of make a bunch of these and get a bunch of these. Um, what was the next one? Next one is the price. And if you see, the price itself is price intraday. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that inside this. I'm going to call it price intraday. This is going to crash because it has a space in between and other special characters. So what I'll do is enclose this in some sort of a this sort of double quotes. Okay, because we've already taken up the single quote here, right? So we can't use that. So that should give us the price intraday. Then the next one is change. Change is simple. Just put that over here. Change. And then the next one is percentage change. All right. So percentage change has to be inside some sort of quotes. All right. So again, we got to that problem. Let's put the quote first and put, oops, percentage change, percentage space change, just like that. Yep. Then comes market cap. From now on, I think we should keep the double quotes. I'm just removing that, copying, pasting these, and then I'm going to type market cap, just like that. And here, volume in currency. All right, so I'm just going to say volume in currency since whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It should be able to pick up all of that. So don't get hassled. Then continue. Volume in currency 24 hours. Should we stop there? I think we should go a couple more, right? So let's just get the total volume, all currencies. Yes, sorry, I just was a bit mesmerized by it, wasn't I? Total volume, all currencies. And then I'm going to just change that there. And let me just copy these again. I think a couple more items are left. And then I'll go circulating supply. I think this is enough. This we can't. It's not. It's a different thing. We don't need that. So I'm just gonna stop here and remove that. And let's see if you're lucky enough to copy pasted the right things. And list index out of range. Market cap we could get. think I know what it is. We go back to market cap. The word market C, letter C is not capital. So we are capitalization is super important. Okay, it's very case sensitive. Here we go. We got everything, guys. We got everything. So that's how you scrape Yahoo cryptocurrencies using Beautiful Soup. If you want to scale this, you will have to use. You have to make sure that this works now, but in production, what you have to do is if you scrape it a lot every minute or so, you will have to change the user agents, and put it on rotation. Collect a few of them, put it in an array, and put it on rotation. Maybe I'll do a video on that. And also, probably Yahoo might block your IP address if you keep doing it a lot. Okay, so then you'll need some sort of rotating proxy service, which I happen to have. There's something called Proxies API.com. This is my service, and hundreds of companies use this to scale their, that's my face there, scale their web scraping. All you got to do is pass Yahoo URL over here, in this case, and just pass your API key, and it'll take care of, proxies. About 2 million proxies what we use behind the scenes. Change user agent strings, which is browser identities, multiple retries, automatic retries for you, and even captchas will be solved. So IP blocks will become a thing of the past if you do this, and there's no credit card required. You can start with 1,000 API calls per month for free, and go ahead and get it. There's no reason for you to not get it, actually, because there's nothing stopping you. And even if you don't use this, don't worry about it. Use something or just enjoy this code. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Learned how to use Beautiful Soup and overcome a little bit of those challenges. I'm glad to be of help. Thank you.